Sorry about the ladies and gentlemen. We experienced bad connection. Waiting for Glenn Jones to come back on. Thanks, Deanna. Thank you, Uncle Glenn, for coming in. Like, I just don't like that type of feeling. Like when we have bad connection, when a great interview is going, it's starting off well, and things just like. And thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Those of you who are coming in, I apologize once again for bad connection. Please welcome my special guest tonight, R&B singing legend Glenn Jones.
Thank you.
No problem, no problem. And you know where we left off, and we talk about you having a relationship with musicians like People Bryson, Bobby Womack, Regina Bell, Donny Hathaway. Tell us about your friendship with those four people.
Well, Donny Hathaway, he was a big influence on me. I never really had a relationship with him because by the time I got aware of who he was, because I had always done gospel, it was a little later, you know, in his career. But as far as Bobby Womack, I knew him. I did some gigs with him, and I was a fan of his coming up, you know, at a very early age. And you know, those are the kind of people that influence you and inspire you, you know, from a songwriting standpoint, and just you know the whole vocal approach. Regina, she and I have been friends for a lot of years. We've done records together. We've done shows. We did a tour together over in South Africa. And that's my sister, you know, she's so cool. And I work with her brother, Bernard Bell, who recently transitioned. He and I, we wrote I've Been Searching together. You know, we wrote some other stuff together. And he was an amazing musician, amazing songwriter and vocal arranger and all of that. So, and People Bryson, I always loved his music. You know, when I decided that I wanted to sing R&B, I started listening to a lot of people, and I listened to Switch, the group Switch. They were one of my favorite groups. So those are the people that influenced me, and you know, it's amazing that I have come to know them and be friends with them, you know, be acquainted with them. So I'm just enjoying, you know, the ride. I'm enjoying the music. I'm enjoying the longevity, which has always been important to me. You know, I wanted to do this and I wanted to do it for life. And God has blessed me to do that. You know, so it's been great.
God always has a way, and like during that era when you first came out, that's one of the most best eras in music. And Bernard Bell was one of the founders of one of the popular music genres who lasted for a short period of time, New Jack Swing.
New Jack Swing.
Donny Hathaway is like, you know, he had a voice, and you know, his daughter Layla, took after him, and you know, she's just like you know, amazing. Yeah. Like you hear her sing, it's like you just like you know, you just receive that mellow feeling.
Yes, yes. No doubt. She definitely inherited her father's gift, you know, and she was able to keep the legacy going, you know, and she's definitely one of my favorite singers.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Your main hits Show Me. Let's start off on Romance. Here I Go With It. When you first wrote those songs, what was you going through? What's the story behind each of those hits?
Well, you know, you take bits and pieces from different eras, different songs, different artists. You know, like the thing about We've Only Just Begun. It had that sound with the 808 drum beat, you know, the kind of sound that was very distinctive from a lot of the Marvin Gaye music, you know. So that was a part of that. And I actually wanted to do love songs, you know, music that was sensuous and sexy, but I wanted to keep it, you know, more in the vein of relationship music that has a commitment, not just about the one night stand thing, to me, like I said before, I've always been a fan of longevity, and that's what that song was about. Show Me was a song that my friend Lala wrote. She's from New York. Her name is LaForest Cope, but we call her Lala. And she worked with Kashif. She worked in his band. And when I was living in Queens, New York, she lived right around the corner from me. And she knew I was working on a new record. And I asked her, I said, write me a song, give me something. And she had written a couple of songs. She wrote this one song she played for me, and I was like, I gotta have that, please. And I can't give you that one because I wrote this for this girl that's on Arista Records. Her name is Whitney Houston, and she had written "You Give Good Love," which was an amazing song. That was a huge record. But then she said, "Well, I have something for you. I got another song I want you to listen to." And
Yes, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to your singles, Uncle Glenn. And speaking of you were signed to three different records back in the day: Jive, RCA, and Atlantic. Tell us some of the times with those record labels.
Well, music was in a transitional phase. Around that time, hip hop was becoming, very, it was becoming very popular. And so when I was at RCA, I was on RCA with a lot of crossover type artists, R&B artists, like Hall and Oates. They were on the label, Pointer Sisters. So RCA was good to me, but I think that they really didn't know how to market me, and they took care of me. But when I on my second record, when I got Show Me, things started to change, and open up for me. And then by that time, Jive Records had moved to the States, and they were doing a deal with RCA, BMG Music, who have the music from their company distributed through that company. So the owner of the label, a guy named Clyde Carter, said, "Well, look, we want to, as part of our deal, our distribution deal, we want to switch Glenn Jones over from RCA to Jive," and that's what they did. And that's when my friend Timmy Allen and myself, that's when we wrote "We've Only Just Begun."
How did you feel when they were switching you to different record labels?
I was open to it. I was willing to try whatever. I just want to hear a record. If you can't do it, then maybe somebody else can do it. And the good thing about Jive is that they had a staff of writers. They had staff writers and producers, and I got a chance to work with those guys closely. And that was how we were able to come up with "We've Only Just Begun." And I have to remind people that at the time, Michael Jackson had a record out which was #1 on the Billboard chart. My record, "We've Only Just Begun," was #2. But we talk about Michael Jackson, so I always say, look, "We've Only Just Begun" was the #1 record because who could mess with Mike? You can't knock Mike out of the box. So that was a good time for me, because people really started to pay attention, and the records were, at the top of the chart, and it was a good situation for me.
Mm-hmm. And your 1990 album, All of Me. What's the purpose of that title of that album? Was you going through a relationship?
Well, actually, that record was actually entitled "I'm All for You." "All for You" is the name of the record. "All for You," and that song was written.
I apologize.
That's okay. It was written by Tilly Allen and Barry Eastman, who were songwriters and producers for Jive Records, and it was just a very smooth, cool record. had a kind of had kind of a Caribbean type feel to it. And recently, back in March, I went to South Africa on tour, and I came to realize how big that record was in South Africa. It's amazing, man. I didn't even know it was a hit over there. So that was another good situation.
And it's usually the countries abroad that you get the most like streams of your songs in the United States. And let me tell you something about Africa. They love themselves some R&B. When they see
Yes.
one of the musicians perform live,
Yeah. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
that's more than a standing ovation.
Well, the songs that they love over there are songs that were never singles here in the United States. And All For You is, I saw this guy on TikTok. I don't know his name, but they were playing All For You, my record. And he had this little thing, his little dance skit that he was doing. And he was killing, man. He had so many hits. It was amazing. And then when I went there, I found out that another song that I did called All I Need to Know, super hit. And I'm talking about the demographics. I mean, I'm talking about young people in their 20s loving those songs, going crazy, man. So that's one of my favorite places to go. I've been there 3 times. I'm getting ready to go back in 2023. I'm looking forward to it because they give nothing but love.
And speaking of your tour, you're on tour now, Uncle Glenn. How do you see you touring in 2023? How do you think it will be?
I think that it's going to be very exciting because since I've been there this past year, I get people hit me up all the time, different promoters that have been trying to book me there again. So I'm thinking that they're feeling the vibe from the people. They know that people want to see me. They want me to come back. Because the last time I went, I was with it was Howard Hewitt and Alexander O'Neill. My guys. I love them, but this time I'm going back. I'm just going back to do the Glenn Jones thing.
Yes, and speaking of Howard Hewitt and Alexandria News, those are two other musicians that have been in the business as long as you, Uncle. And those two gentlemen, they made an impact in music.
Yeah, artists like Howard and Alexander, they influence a lot of people in R&B, and to me, that's what matters, if you making a contribution, if you can contribute to the legacy and the sound of R&B, then I think you've done a good thing. So yeah, and to still be doing what you're doing.
Yes.
People are very fickle and they want to see the next thing. What's the next new thing? What's the next new thing? But I think it's important to create music with substance. Substance and longevity. It's important to create music that's timely but timeless. And I've learned that, along the way.
Yes, and speaking of something new, you put out new music, and some gospel artist named Genevi Jetta is featured on your song. Tell us about her, about that artist.
Well, Genevi Jetta, that's my wife. I met her years and years ago. We both were singing gospel. And a lot of the records that I've done in the past, she's been a part of, whether she was doing all the background vocals or singing a duet with me. And she's an incredible singer. The last song that I did with her, the last single I released was a song called Trust in Me, which is a great inspirational song. And it was very timeless because it came along, at the height of the pandemic. And the song is about believing and trusting in God, believing that, you know, He will bring you through and everything is going to work out. Everything's going to be all right. So, yeah, that's one of my favorite songs on my album.
Hmm. And tell us about the albums that you put out since the early 2010s until now. How has music changed for you, Uncle Glenn?
Uh, I don't know. It's hard to explain. You know, there's so much technology. You know, that music is recorded with now. When I come from an era where you just had to be flat foot talented. You had to be able to just sing. You know, it had to be about not about the music, even if you're singing a cappella. It was about the quality and the purity of the voice. You know, that's what was happening with that, and just it was more about, you know, the musicality and the guys that were great musicians, great players, and great arrangers. It was about the music. It wasn't about the auto tune and all these other little tricks and gadgets. You know, it was about,
Auto tune.
you know, just
I
being
mean, people who
organic.
sing auto tune, I was like, I mean, like the people enjoy nowadays. People enjoy listening to R&B music with auto tune. I'm like,
Yeah,
excuse me, I had to
bless
sneeze.
you, bless you.
Thank
But
you so much. Like,
it was
I had to sneeze talking about auto tune.
it was about being organic, you know, the
Yeah.
organic thing, the acoustic thing, you know. And I think that's why so many great musicians came out of that era and before, because they were actually learning music and, you know, it wasn't so much about the technology, you know, it was about pure and raw talent.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, it just hurt my ears. It's like I'm like, how do you enjoy listening to like these songs with auto tune? It hurts my ears. And most of these artists nowadays they can't sing. That's why they use auto tune. But I'm not gonna lie, there's some that can sing and
Oh
use
yeah.
auto tune in their songs.
Well, you know, when you go out on the when you go out on the road to perform live, you want people to be able to enjoy you live the way they did listening to your records. You want to come as close to, you know, the perfection of your records as you can. And that's very important to me.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. And you know, this is one question that I need to ask and like you know the fans that Norman Collins, that's a famous musician and instrumentalist right there. And you did a song with him called Melancholy Nights. Tell us
Melancholy
about
Fire,
the
Melancholy
collaboration with
Fire.
him and the
Yeah.
story behind that song.
That was um that was my first R&B song. I met Norman Connors back in 1980, and I had recorded a couple of gospel albums because I was writing music, and I did the second gospel album I did. Norman got a chance to hear it, and he wanted to meet me, so I flew up to Washington D.C. to meet him, and he wanted to do a record with me. So the next thing I knew, I was flying out to L.A. and that song was actually instrumental in getting me my first record deal with RCA because he released that song Melancholy Fire as a second single from the Take It to the Limit album. And when that record came out, it went top 15 or something like that. And that's when I started getting the attention of the people at RCA. So from there, I got my own record deal from that.
Oh, wow. And speaking of your own record deal, Talent Room Entertainment, tell us about that and when was it established?
Talent Room is Entertainment is a label that I own with my manager, Prince Levy, and a lady by the name of Mary Ann Eggleston. She's part of the company. We own it together. And when I decided to put out my own record, um, we debuted the record Love by Design, the single that I did with Regina. We did that. This is on Silverswan Entertainment. And then we released um, a second single. The second single was You and Me, which featured Nick Corleone, great jazz guitar player. He recently passed with an amazing record. And then I released the Trust in Me album with the Trust in Me song, single. But Teleroom is a label that I've always, I always knew that I had my own company. And I was fortunate enough to meet, the two people that could help me make that a reality. We were into distribution and we were into, just media period. We're going to be doing some things in television. Just trying to, keep it happy. These days you gotta wear all hats. You gotta try.
Yes.
So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and it's not only a hat in the music business. It's like in the health field. That's all you just mentioned, like the famous musician passing. And when I think about it, every day I was like, too many of the famous musicians are gone too soon.
Yeah.
And it's very important for us to check our health daily because people in the African American community, it's like they are passing every day from these horrible diseases,
Yeah.
and it's
Well, that's why we have to make the best of the time that we have. We need our fans and our audiences to give us that love and support us while we are here, so we can protect our legacy and the music can live on and on and on.
Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. And I pray that no more lives get taken away at an early age. It's like how will the music industry be like has been able without those musicians around, without people sign a record deal, like go songs for people, make them reach to the top in the industry.
Right. Well, over the years, there have been a lot of great musicians that I felt like, were gone too soon. I felt like Marvin Gaye was gone too soon. I felt like Donny Hathaway was gone too soon. Many, many great artists. But like I said, that's why we have to support them. We have to attend the concerts because music is it transcends time, and it's the good thing about it is that maybe they are gone soon, but even 40 years after that, you can still hear
their legacy lives on, and their spirit will always be with their fans.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your other album, It's Time. Tell us the story about that album and why you titled it It's Time.
Well, when I did the It's Time album, CD, whatever we call it these days, it was a transition for me because I was no longer at Atlantic Records, and I had a manager. This guy he was such a great guy. He is a great guy. His name is Steve Russo. And I met him at a meeting that I had at Atlantic Records. He was in there representing one of his clients, a guy named Ross Vanelli, who's a great writer and producer. And we were trying to hook up a deal for Ross to produce a record on me while I was on Atlantic. And then when we parted ways, when I left Atlantic, and Steve believed in me enough to put a label together, so he put together the funds to do a company called SAR Records, and independent label. But even being independent and not having a lot of money, we sold 250,000, 300,000 records, which was amazing. And I felt like Its Sound was a good title because I felt like I had proven, my artistry, the kind of artist that I was, and with my records, and I had proven that I had staying power, and I was blessed with longevity. And plus, Ross and I had written a song called "I Think That It's Time," so I just thought that that was the appropriate title for the album.
Yes, yes. And what you just told me, it is like, yeah, the fact that you was going through, like you was going through it with the record label, and like, it's my time to shine again. It's my time to show the fans and the people who Glenn Jones really is. It's
That's right.
time to do music.
That's right. That's exactly what the statement was about. And there were so many great songs on that album. And even to this day, people have so many different favorites from that album, So I'm proud of I'm proud of most of the music that I've done. I don't care if it was like a super mega smash hit, but the work that I put in and the quality that we were able to deliver, I'm very proud of that stuff.
Yes, yes. And you just got to thank God every single day because God always makes a way. You're going through challenges, you're thinking about like how things are going to go. God is
Yeah.
always going to answer your question. God will always have a way.
Yeah, well, he's always in control, and um, like anybody else, I've had my peaks and valleys, but I have always had the favor of God. He's always shown me favor, So
Yes.
I'm good. I'm good.
God is an awesome God.
He is, and you know what? I want people to know that, and I want to make sure that they come out tomorrow, 8 o'clock at the Chicago City Winery, and come out on Tuesday. I know usually people try to chill, early in the week, but this is going to be worth you coming out. I come here, and there are a lot of songs that I haven't gotten a chance to sing when I come to Chicago. But some of those songs are going to be played tomorrow night and Tuesday night. So please get your tickets now. Come out to
Yes,
the City
yes,
Winery in
because they're going to
Chicago.
sell out fast. Those of you who are following me who are from Chicago or who are traveling to Chicago, about to land in Chicago, make sure you stop by the City Winery and check out Uncle Glenn Jones, the legend himself. This is going to be an amazing showcase, ladies and gentlemen. You do
Yes.
not want to miss it.
Close up and personal. We have fun, man. We laugh. I talk to them. They talk back to me. I mess with people. I love people, and I think that God knew that when he created me, and he gave me the right job to be able to connect and, and people bless me and I try to bless them.
And now that we're speaking of God, do you plan on putting out a gospel album?
Yes, I do. I've got
When?
a good friend, my music director. His name is Kurt Clayton. He's from Memphis, and his son is a pastor in Memphis. So we already spoke to him about me doing a live album at his church in Memphis, Tennessee. So we're working on that right now. Yeah.
And which artists would you like to go on the tour and perform live with on stage, and why? Which musician?
I mean, there's so many great singers, and lately, as always, but the female singers have just been killing it. They've just been knocking it out the park. People like a Layla Hathaway, and people like a Jasmine Sullivan, and Faith Evans. I'm a big fan of so many of them. It's like back in the day, I would have loved to have done something with Whitney Houston. because I
Yeah,
knew Whitney and she was
they
so
are
sweet.
so rest in peace. And
Yeah,
her birthday recently passed.
yeah. Well,
One of the
another
greatest
person,
of all time.
another artist gone too soon. You know, I used to work with Aretha Franklin. You know, I would do shows with her.
Oh yes, yes.
I played Radio City Music Hall with her. I played Caesar's Palace in Atlantic City, and I would go to Detroit and do her birthday party, and just standing on the stage singing a song with this lady, man. It was so it was breathtaking, you know, and I think that I've learned, you know, so much from her, and I think that's another reason why I've been able to sustain. And another thing is that you got to learn how to be you, be yourself. You know,
Yes,
musically
yes.
speaking.
Every R&B singer is different. No R&B singer is the same.
That's right. That's right. I, I, I've always tried to embrace, you know, a variety, you know, a vast variety of different artists, and you know, I can be. Sometimes I tell people, sometimes I say that, but I'm singing a song, and my mind runs across Aretha, and I'll say to myself, she would sing it like this, you know. So I will mimic a line that she sings because it's just so soulful, you know, and
Yeah.
whether it's coming from a man or a woman, soul is soul, you know. So I'm influenced by male and female singers.
Uh-huh. And what was like, the best conversation that you ever had with the Franklin?
Um, she told me that she thought that I was blessed. I was really gifted, and she just said, you know, just get your focus, Glenn, because you're gonna be all right, you know. And she told me that I was one of her favorite singers.
Yeah.
That was enough said right there.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, but she will always be remembered. Like, she's the queen of soul,
The queen of soul. Right.
amazing voice, the 7 letter word, R-E-S-P-E-C-T. You better respect that artist.
Yeah,
You better respect me.
that's right. That's
And
right.
she
And
told she told the people that.
yeah, yeah. I still get chills now when I hear her records, and particularly like a lot of her gospel records, you know, that she did. She did a gospel album, and that was an amazing record. And I was a young kid then, and I was singing gospel, but I used to listen to her gospel album, uh, Amazing Grace, all that stuff, man. You know, Oh Mary, Don't You Weep. You know, she was phenomenal. And at the time, I would have never realized that I would have actually, you know, ended up standing face to face with her on the stage singing the song, you know, with a 20-piece orchestra behind us. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Uh-huh. Yeah. She will always be remembered. And, we just can't believe it's 4 years since she transitioned, and like everything just feels like this again. It shocks on us and the fans. Like, my God, one of the greatest voices too soon.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And going back to gospel, Uncle Glenn, which gospel singer would you like to collaborate with, and why?
Oh man, which gospel singer? Mm, well, I'm really a fan of. There's a genre in gospel music that they call quartet music. That uh, you know, it's more. I want to say a cult following because it's not as broad based as you know the all the other contemporary gospel. Because a lot of times you don't hear the quartet music on a lot of the stations, but they're playing all of the bigger artists. You know, like Kirk Franklin and all the other ones. But I enjoy doing that kind of music. I mean, quartet music is where Bobby Womack came from. It's where Sam Cooke came from. Sam Cooke sung with a group called the Soul Stirrers. And when I was 14 years old, I sang with the Soul Stirrers for a couple of weeks. You know, I was the lead singer with them. And I'm a big fan of John P. Key. I'm a fan of Kirk Franklin, you know, quite naturally, and I love you know Yolanda Adams and all of that, man. So you know, the biggest thing is not just about who you want to do a song with; it's about the song that you're going to do.
Yes,
It's about
yes.
the song. It's about the music. It's not necessarily about what artist you're going to choose, but if it's a great
Yes.
song, if it's the right song,
Uh-huh.
then you got to do
Mhm.
it.
You always have to, it's very important to always have a conversation first before you start singing and who you have on the song. Because that person needs the voice. That person needs to sing his or her soul. Sing it like you mean it.
Sing it like you mean it. That's right. Sing it
And
like you mean
somebody
it.
had asked on here, I'm not too long ago, Uncle Glenn, do you plan on working with Kelly Price?
Working with who?
Kelly Price.
I'm a fan of Kelly. You know, I have a niece that's worked with Kelly. I have a niece named Yana Crawley, who was Sunday's Best 2009 winner. So she's worked with Kelly, you know, before, and I think Kelly is an incredible singer.
Yes. She sure is. And let me tell you something. When she sing it, those of you who don't know, Kelly is more than an R&B and gospel singer. When you hear her on albums back in the 90s, don't play with Kelly because she'll tell you like it is.
You're right. You're right. But I'm a fan of Camtasia. I
Oh,
mean,
she
it's
was
hard to beat her singing some gospel. It's
that's
hard to
my
beat her
kid
singing
to
that
me.
gospel. Yeah, yeah, Fantasia. Yep.
Yeah. Mhm. She could sing her heart.
Yeah, she can sing the phone book, you know. Just sing the phone book. It'd be all right.
Yeah, yeah. And is there what would you like to take to the people on your Uncle Glenn?
One that I would like to do what?
What would you like to say to the people on here before we get off?
I want to say once again, the City Winery, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Tuesday night, 8 o'clock, come up close and personal. And if I had to say anything, I would say, we will not just begun. Come back to
Y'all hear that, ladies and
love.
gentlemen?
Gotta
Y'all
love,
hear
love,
that? Uncle Glenn giving you a little
love.
something.
Come and
He's
check
giving you
that
a
out.
little something, something.
See? See?
And make sure y'all download his new song. What's the name of it, Uncle Glenn?
Trust in me.
Yes, trust in him and trust in yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And y'all better look out for his upcoming EP.
That's right. Thank you so
Thank,
much. I enjoyed myself.
thank, yes, yes, it's just always a pleasure having legendary musicians like you as special guests on my podcast. I just love it, and I just love the energy.
Well, thank you for having me anytime.
God bless you and
God
enjoy. I
bless
hope
you.
you're gonna have an amazing show. You're gonna nail it tomorrow night.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.